Hello everyone, this is Shoas from the Aerial Heights gaming community, and today we are back with a Star Citizen video. Not a different one, not one it's actually treading old ground. My last Star Citizen video was done at 3 in the morning, the resolution was wrong, the hangar was really early and buggy, the sound quality was horrible because other people in the house were asleep and I had to be quiet. So I'm going back and I'm redoing it and talking about it more with a fresh mind, and some patches have been put in to make the place to spruce it up a little bit. So we're going to go through the hangar. Once again, I'm going to show you things with a little bit of a better frame rate now, thanks to some improvements that the guys at RSI have made. Now to start off with, Star Citizen again is a sandbox MMO, much in the way of EVE Online. And I'm going to compare a little bit to EVE Online, although the two games are very separate. EVE Online is a hotkey-based game with a few interesting elements that make it very different. But Star Citizen and EVE will be their own unique experiences, even though they're both sandbox space simulators. It's going to have a real dynamic economy, and it's going to actually have Newtonian physics and space fighter pilot capabilities for all the ships. Even the really big ones, which will take multiple people to man, will operate in a similar fashion. Someone actually has to control it. So I'm going to take you through the ships. Oh, I apologize. I'm going to take you through the ships and go through and explain some of the uses in the game and some of the game mechanics and stuff at the moment. And we're going to start off with the base model. Now, a lot of people figure that because this is the base model ship, it's the worst. It isn't. The RSI Aurora here, which is just as capable as any other ship, this little Aurora here can totally take out that Freelancer over there, no problem, as long as I'm the better pilot. It's my skill as a pilot that matters, even though that's the bigger ship. And you would think that the Freelancer, being the bigger ship with more guns and bigger guns, has more armor and more health and could totally take out like 3 or 4 of these little guys. No, it really doesn't. I could take this thing fitted as is with the default weapons, and I could totally destroy that Freelancer over there as long as I'm the better pilot. And that's what really matters. That's why I like this game, because it's not about stats or numbers. But this is the Aurora. Come on, open up. Again, it still is alpha. It still is very early. And we're going to go ahead and press F to use. Come on. They've done a lot of patches, and, like I said, some of the animations have been fixed, and every time they fix something, something else breaks. This is, again, 18 months from release, and this is extremely early alpha. So we can get into the pilot seat here somehow. Come on. There we go. Now, we don't have the seat doesn't spin around, so you got to get in the old-fashioned way. Now, even though the Aurora is... Again, I apologize about that. Even though the Aurora is the smallest vessel, and as you can probably tell from before my other video, some more monitors have been added and the animations sync up very nicely. I'm just using the keypads. This game will be done best if you have a gamepad or a joystick of some sort. But as you can tell, this cockpit is Spartan at best, only 2 little keypads compared to the 300i, but it has the best view. This is basically a helicopter's cockpit. It's got an amazing view. You can see everything around you. And again, this is just the basic ship. Now, there are multiple variants to this. This is the luxury edition. It's got the leather seats, and it's got that nice red color. There's a trader version, which has more cargo space but less guns. And then there's the default version, which kind of has a little bit less of everything. But this is the luxury version. A little bit of leather, a little bit of finer details, better lighting. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful vessel. But also, they have this, if I can use it. This is a bed. Some ships have bunks, and the big ships do, and even the Aurora does, even though it's really small. The bunks, if you are in a safe part of space, you can go to sleep in your ship, and it even has a view, so you can literally see outside. Like, you could take this ship and angle it where the top is facing a planet you're orbiting, and just watch the Earth or watch the planet as you log out. But the point of this is that if I'm in a safe part of space and I'm good to go, I don't have anyone trying to attack me, and I've just taken the top of my head off. As you can see, the animation still needs some work, but again, it's early alpha. I can log off safely, and instead of having to go to a port, I can log off and then come back where I'm at. Granted, I may log off safely, but that doesn't mean I will log back in safely. But that's the Aurora. It's one of the basic models. If you look in the stats menu, compared to the armaments that some of the other ships have, compared to the booster output, the engines, it's not a very... The stat numbers are lower than most of the other ships, lower than all of the ships, I would say. But that doesn't mean that she can fight. Again, this is a skill-based game. It's all based on what I can do. And as the old saying goes, a master of stone throwing will beat a novice of archery almost every time. This is the Cutlass model. The Cutlass isn't in the game yet, but it is a sexy-looking ship. I'm glad I picked it up. I actually confused it with the Caterpillar, which is the Constellation's evil twin sister, which is a pirate vessel. I picked this up by mistake thinking it was the bigger one, but I kind of regretted my purchase. But now after looking at it and seeing it, it's a sexy beast, and I will have a video of it as soon as it comes out. They're still working on the interior, and it is a beautiful ship. It is a pirate vessel, highly customizable. You can fit like 20 different... It's got like 12 upgrade slots, which is like 12 slots where you can fit more fuel tanks, more cargo space, jammers, electronic weapons, sensor upgrades, stealth heat sinks for the engines. Excuse me again, sorry. All that good stuff. She's a very customizable ship, the ship choice for pirates and freelancers. She is a two-man ship, just like the Freelancer over there, and I look forward to seeing her in my bay. Now, this is the Freelancer. It is the biggest ship I have, and this is an explorer vessel slash trading vessel. And when I say exploring vessel, it's because when Star Citizen comes out... I gotta take a sip of water real quick. Sorry, guys. I'm still working with this new mic, and I've picked up now that when my throat gets dry, I start hearing this sound of me like smacking my lips unconsciously, and I'm trying to stop it because I'm listening back to my old videos, and it annoys the crap out of me. And also, the noise is so subtle that noise removal in Audacity can't detect it, so I can't get rid of it. And I'm really trying to stop that because it's annoying to me, so I know you guys hate it. But this is the Freelancer, and it's an explorer vessel, because when the game launches, there will be a persistent universe, and there will be private servers and stuff. And every week or so, or every month or couple months, depending on what they put in, every week or so they want to add in new content. A couple new missions for the campaign somewhere, maybe some new items, a new asteroid field, new mobs somewhere that may, or a new shipwreck or something you can explore. But this is for exploring star systems, because while a lot of the planets will be available to the average player in the nav computer when you start the game, there will be other ancillary systems. Like, I can go to a system and it'd be, you go to Earth and then System B and then Spider, which is the Pirate Freelancer Nation. But in System B, in the in-between, there may be 4 or 5 other jump points available that I can pick up using scanning equipment of some sort. And but on my nav computer, it only shows the one jump point out to either Earth or to Spider. Well, I can go through and use my equipment to find the other jump points and then jump through it like a warp navigation thing, in which I will do they haven't talked about it, it's still in planning, but it'll be a sequence where you go through and you have to, in your very maneuverable ship, transverse a very, very dangerous, very, very almost near certain death likely part of space. But if you get to the other side, you will then go to a system and you will map it and you will have a jump point. And you can share the jump point with your friends. It is really interesting to note that if I find a jump point, it's not like new location discovered and everyone on the server instantly gets it. Only the people who find it have the coordinates. Only the people who find it can give the coordinates out. But again, if you give it to your friend, you'd be like, well, only the 2 of us will know, and then your friend could spam it in general chat or whatever, and then everyone will know. So it is very potential that in some servers, depending on pilot skills, you could be the only person in this particular system for a while. So enjoy that. And again, there are things like asteroid bases where you can hollow out an asteroid with equipment and then set up a personal base where you can either use it as a listening post, a scout post, or you can pirate from it, a personal loading bay. Now, this is a cargo vessel. It's got 10 tons of cargo room, 12 tons, I think. It can hold a lot of cargo. This is a tiny little cargo bay right here. You can fit a couple things here, not too much. This is where all your good stuff goes. Now, for some reason, they said that they put turret animations in, but I can't use the turret, and there's a bug where you get stuck if you run up against it. Also, this door used to open, but it doesn't open anymore for some reason. But this vessel is also a cargo vessel. As you can see, they actually added, if you listen, they actually added in a nice little sound effect here that used to not be there. Computer, these don't do anything. These could potentially, when the game gets done and on release, these could potentially... Sorry about the phone, guys. I've literally got it across the room, and you can still pick it up on the mic. Sorry about that. Shut up! I'll take care of you in a second. These could potentially actually show real readouts, like if you're in a battle or something, and there's a third guy or fourth guy here. Again, there's 4 people that can be on this ship, but there's only enough things for 2 people to do. There's a pilot, and then there's the gunner on the turret in the back. If you have 4 people in this ship, you've got 2 guys who can literally just buckle in, strap in, and pray, and that's literally all they can do. They can look and see the real battle happening. But potentially these computers could show real information about engines, systems, air, and maybe if it's outfitted or they change it, maybe you could fiddle with them as the third or second guy. Who knows? But at the moment, the max crew is 2, so they don't have any plans at the moment for that to happen. But these could be real readouts, so you can tell exactly how screwed you are. These are the bunks. These are the same thing as the RSI Aurora, and again, these aren't. I can't use these, but your guys can sleep on the ship. So let's get out of here and look up the Origin 300i. Oh, there we go. Okay, the animation is still kind of buggy, so you can see I'm moonwalking down. That's all good. Now this is the 300i. This is a sexy, sleek, crimson red, beautiful, beautiful ship. It is an amazing ship. This is the 325A. This is the combat fighter variant. The 300i is a racing ship that has been converted to civilian use. As there's an explorer variant, there is a fighter variant, and then there's just the basic variant, which is kind of like the Aurora. There's just the basic package, which will cost the less money to buy and insure. This one goes a little bit slower, has more armaments, has more missile space, and for the price, and has more armor. But again, this is a racing ship with some lasers put on it. This isn't a fighter. This is a really sleek, fast attack, hit and run type of fighter vessel. But it's not the big tanky, fighter. It's not like, it's a racing ship that's been converted into a fighter. It's a racing ship with some armor plating on it, and they called it a fighter. There's a difference. But it is cool, because we're going to go in here in my Gull Wings. This is the Mercedes-Benz of the Star Citizen universe. This thing has been designed to be slick. It's been designed to be stylish. It's been designed to look cool. Now, in the higher-end versions, again, when you go in here, it's kind of bare looking. As you can see, there is room for cargo in this thing. This thing can hold like 3 or 4, like 2 tons, 3 tons of cargo. Considerably less, because it is, the whole point of this thing is to be a fighter. In the other versions, there'll be more leather here. I think in one version there's even kind of a couch here in the back where you can sit with your ladies. These windows, I think, are actually open in some of the other variants. Like right here, there would be a window instead of a black matte painting. There's a little bit of leather left. But the seat is turned around to face me. They fixed that. And as you can see from the dashboard here, lots more lights, lots more knobs. Some things have changed since the other video I showed you guys. But lots more dials and knobs. They have been talking about, especially in the Freelancer, a lot of people don't like the cockpit views. And they're going to change it around. And in fact, in my personal opinion, I think I'm going to stick with the Aurora for a little while, because a cockpit view is just amazing. But this one's got lots more buttons. More than likely, all of these readouts when the game comes out will actually be useful. They won't just be, look, there's some buttons. They'll actually say things. The engine things will actually tell you if you're overheating or what the statuses are. These little bars will move up and down based on your shields and whatnot. and it's just a sexy, beautiful vessel. And it is just basically the Mercedes-Benz, but it's an armor-plated, gun-toting Mercedes-Benz. Now, going back to the design of the ships, and you guys will notice something. I'll go over there in a second, look at those, but I want to talk about the design of the ship. This thing is a sexy black racing ship, but if you guys notice, it's missing something. It doesn't have a bunk on it, and really, besides a cockpit, it doesn't have anything. The Aurora here has got a shower and a toilet and a sink and what looked like a little kitchenette area, and it's got bunks, and it's got a massive cargo hold, and it's big, and it's got 2 massive honking engines. And then the Aurora over there, it's not as big, but it's got that nice cargo space in the back. It's got the bunk. That is because the Aurora and the Freelancer are designed to stay out longer. In this simulator game, there is ammo. You can run out of ammo, like on the Origin 300 325A over there. You have like the 4 missiles that are on the wings. That's all you've got. You have those 4 missiles and whatever is in your guns, and that's it. You have limited ammo. You have limited missiles. You can store more ammo in your cargo compartment, but that'll take up cargo space. And on top of that, because of the real Newtonian physics and the fact that these thrusters here, these thrusters actually work like thrusters, and there are different thrusters. There are thrusters that only go up and down. There are thrusters that only go left, right, and then there are thrusters that go up, down, left, right, and then there are thrusters which are like basically an analog stick where they'll go like they'll basically do a circular motion. The ship will actually turn and react to the thrust, and depending on how much your ship weighs and the more cargo you have in it, the slower it'll be. So you come into situations where if you're under attack or ambushed with this thing full of cargo, do I dump my cargo and run, or do I potentially lose everything because I don't want to dump my cargo and get out with it, you know, instead of losing my money and keeping my ship? The 325A is very fast, very maneuverable. The Aurora is, excuse me again, the Aurora is your basic stock model. She's, in my personal opinion, she's designed to look more like a helicopter kind of design, where the 325A has wheels and is clearly a plane. That one looks like more like a vertical takeoff and landing kind of deal, especially when you're on the surface. The same thing with the, again, I'm very sorry, the same thing with the Freelancer here. But again, you only have so much fuel also. That's a very good thing. This thing, the Freelancer, can hold a lot of fuel. It is designed to stay out for a long time and explore and go see things. The Aurora is designed to be a very small one-man little tiny freighter that can stay out for a while, and you can get a fighter variant of it, but it's designed to go on medium-sized, like short or medium trade races. It can stay out for a while. The 325A is not. It is a situational, it is a fighter vessel. You need to know where you're going and whether there's going to be a target there, because you have no way to support yourself. This thing is vicious, it is fast, it is mean, it looks amazing, but it does not have the longevity. It doesn't have the fuel capacity, it just can't stay out as long. It goes really fast, but it burns up fuel. And also, it takes into consideration that your fuel, your engine is also your power plant. And I don't know, they haven't addressed this, but I will bet you money that this is compared to everything else they've been saying and how they want to make this a real simulator. The more energy you use, the more electronics you have on board, the more shield power, the more power you shift to your shields, the more everything, you know, the more electricity and voltage that your ship needs, the faster it's going to burn fuel, because your fuel is not only your thrusters, but it actually is fueling your engine, which works as a generator as your power plant, which powers everything else. So the more crap you have running on your ship, the faster the fuel tanks empty. And once the fuel tanks are gone, you, sir, are screwed. You have no power and no way to move. You are literally dead in the water. And again, going on to the fact that maybe you want to be a trader, maybe you don't want to do combat, maybe you don't want to explore, maybe you want to be a trader. There is a dynamic economy. The economy is sort of similar to EVE Online, although it's a little bit more fleshed out in that there are NPC pirates, there are NPC enemies, there are NPCs that won't just like spawn in areas. They'll come out and they'll attack. They'll be along trade routes and stuff, because the servers aren't won't be as big as the 10,000, 30,000 people that are usually online in EVE. The servers will be much smaller, and the average size of a battle will be much smaller too, because you're going to have, instead of upwards of 1,000 ships on hitting hotkeys, and again, I'm comparing a lot to EVE. I'm comparing to EVE because it's the only other successful sandbox MMO that I know of. And they're completely two very different games. I'm not hyping on EVE. I played it for a long time. I loved it. I still do love it. I just haven't played it in a while because, as anyone who plays EVE knows, it's a very big time sink, and I just don't have the time. But in EVE, you can get these massive 1,000-player battles in some points. It's not very often, but you can. And Star Citizen, I mean, you're looking at maybe a big battle being like 20 ships. Granted, some of the ships can have upwards of 10 or 15 crew members. But you're looking at that because these are very high fidelity ships, and you're going to be doing a lot in dogfighting with more than... You just imagine trying to dogfight with 10 enemies. I mean, it's nuts. Imagine that with 20. Plus, you've got big, huge ships with large guns that are shooting at each other, and missiles are flying. And it's in space, so there's asteroids flying through the air and things. And when a ship blows up, its little pieces will blow up, and they may hit you and cause damage. And there's real damage physics if you hit the engines. If you hit a thruster and destroy a thruster, it's not like the ship moves 75% less. It's that thruster's gone, so the physics of that thruster being there have changed. Depending whether you roll left or right. If this thruster gets destroyed, you may, if you do rolling maneuvers, you may want to go this way because you'll be faster this way than you are this way. Also, because this thruster isn't here, the ship may tilt, the nose may tilt because the thrusters on the back will fire, but the one on the nose won't. So your ship may list to one side because that extra thrust isn't there. In the top, so you may skew yourself at an angle. But the economy, if you want to be a trader, is dynamic. There are asteroids, you go mine the asteroids, and in EVE Online, again, the example is you can take the asteroids to a base, you can refine them into raw materials, you can then either sell them on the open market, you can make them into things to sell on the open market after producing them and, putting the fee in to produce them. Or you can make things which you can then combine to make even bigger things which you can sell for more money. It's a very similar concept here. You go to the asteroids, you mine, you bring them to a station where they're processed, and then you go from that station, they have to be transferred, sorry for hitting the table, I don't have it shock mounted properly. You take them from that station, and then you bring them to another station where they're processed from raw materials like the alloys that came out of the asteroid into circuitry and things. And then you go to another station where either an NPC or you will take them to another station where the circuitry and the metals are made into missiles or computers or nav parts or thrusters. And then from there, they're taken to a final assembly plant, which is also the showroom floor. At least, I don't think there's another hop there. But they're taken to a final assembly plant where they're put together and then sold on a showroom floor. So so you literally have to transport it from point to point to point. And all of these different factories will usually be linked up in a node, and that will be like a chain, a factory chain. And as a free trader, you can take your materials anywhere you want. Maybe they demand a higher price on the other side of the galaxy. Take them there. If the fuel cost maths out where you'll make a profit, beware though that you may have to go through pirate territory, or you can make easy money by selling lower and nearer. But that's the kind of thing. But the other thing you have to realize about the factory production is when my ship gets destroyed, if I lose my 325A and I have it insured, I've got lifetime insurance on it. When I want my 325A back, it takes time to get it back to me. The bigger the vessel, the longer it will take the insurance company to get the vessel back to you. When you get a vessel back, you get the vessel back in the condition that you insured it at, with the armaments you insured it at. Although you can upgrade overclock weapons and such so they'll work faster, but they won't be overclocked when you get them. It'll be the base model of the weapon. Right now, that could change, but right now, that's the idea for insurance. But it will take time. The factory that makes 300 eyes has to produce a 300 eye, and then it has to be shipped to me. Now, that won't happen on the open market where it can be pirated, I don't think. I would hope not. But it will take time. The bigger the vessel, the longer it will take. A Constellation will take far longer to get back to you than a 325A. A Freelancer will take longer than a 325A, but not near as long as a Constellation. Also, depending on how well the factory's doing will depend on how quick it gets back to you. If a factory chain is being blockaded by pirates or whatnot so they can prey on traders, then the prices will go up, and it will take longer for the factory to get your ship to you because it's literally not getting the amount of materials it needs to produce at the same rate. The other thing is that at every single station, the factories have workers, and the workers need to be happy. The happier the workers, the faster and the more they produce. And what makes workers happy are some items like contraband items, women, hookers, prostitutes, dancing girls, alcohol, cigarettes. Other things like one of the other situations that you won't just be bringing asteroids to be processed into metal to a base. You'll be bringing food and water and air tanks because people need to eat and breathe and drink in order to work. And then you can actually starve an entire chain by destroying the ships that are bringing in food. And this also brings up the ability, if you want to be a smuggler, if a system is being blockaded, the prices will go up. So you can run a blockade of either the player-based pirate guild or whatever, or maybe the NPC guild that's blockading the system. You can run them and sell your stuff for higher profit. Again, the risk and reward there is you could get literally blown to pieces and destroyed. There's also low-key smuggling. You could have a series of factories that isn't in any way being disturbed, but they still need things like tobacco, cigarettes, and alcohol to make them produce more. And the faster they produce, the lower. If they produce missiles more quickly, the missiles that they're selling will go down because they're making more of them. Supply and demand. The more supply you have, the less the demand goes down, the less the price goes down. So if you know you're going to be operating in an area, it may be a wise idea to kind of flood them with things that will make them happy, confiscated goods to get you a little bit of extra, little bit of income, regular materials to kind of make a little money in your pocket, and in doing so, the price of the missiles and the fuels and stuff you buy will go down because you're flooding the market. And again, the opposite is true. If you want to organize a mercenary band to blockade a system so your trading guilds can roll in with a bunch of starfarers, which are big cargo vessels, full of stuff, and sell it at increased prices to make a huge profit, you can do that. That's completely viable. And then there's also, but I mean, that's where the economy comes in. The economy also, if you remember watching Chris Roberts' video about the economy will spawn missions. If a system, if a system needs materials, it'll say, I need materials. Will a player or NPC take my mission? If I'm being blockaded by pirates, the station will send out a mission which can be accepted by a mercenary guild or a security firm, or freelancers, and they say, look, I need help. And if no one answers, then they'll hire NPCs to help take them out for them. And the NPCs may win, they may lose. And again, a lot of people don't like the idea of NPCs being able to affect the economy in the same way that players can, but the NPCs keep the servers running, and again, the servers don't run on a massive scale like EVE does. The servers are much smaller. The NPCs keep the world running because there are in the idea that works for world events where maybe you find a new planet and you want to colonize a planet and turn it into a settlement or a trading post or set up a new node of factories in a new area, and that may require a server-wide event. And if that's happening, that means that if it was all player driven, the economy in one part of the server would completely crash, whereas the NPCs, now that they're still there, are keeping the economy in check, and basically part of the world isn't just collapsing under itself. Now we're just going to go quickly through here and look at these weapons and stuff. I spent some money in the Voyager Direct store. I picked up these two cannons. These two cannons fire slow energy projectiles. Basically they're hand cannons. They take up a lot of energy, when they fire, it will be a they talk about it'll be a surge of energy, so it will be a lot more energy for my power plant to handle, which means more fuel. And that means that I don't have the energy to like send the shields or whatever to use these. They shoot an energy projectile, which is slow, but it's hard to aim, and you only shoot the one. It's not like a laser beam or whatever where you shoot a bunch. It's only the one, but the thing hits like a truck. And this is really an ambush weapon, kind of, or a weapon where if the pilot's flying in a straight line, which you never want to do, or again, an ambush weapon, I can see myself using when I get my Avenger, which I really gonna love. I really hope to use that thing. This is gonna be a very much, he's standing still, he doesn't suspect a thing, wham bam, he's toast. This is the same thing I got too. And this is the front mount. This is a tier 2 turret. A tier 2 turret is the front of the 325A. A tier 2 turret is basically, it's just on a swivel. How the swivels work, it's not really been ironed out yet. I can't use it to show you. But this is basically a laser chain gun, and that goes on the front. And there are the little things like the elevator goes up and there's a hallway around. The hallway doesn't do anything. There's nothing in it. It's where if you were on planet, you would come out in that hallway. You would traverse it and then come down the elevator to your hangar here. And then whatever ships you have on planet are the ships that are in the station. Not all your ships will follow you everywhere. If I bring this somewhere else and then take a space taxi, which is a thing. It's not called a space taxi, but a taxi to another planet back here to get another ship, then this guy is over there and he will not be here when I get back, and that kind of whole thing. But again, this video was just to show you guys, it was to fix my mistakes, show you a little bit more, talk a little bit more, not talk and not be like, hey guys, it's 3 a.m. and, everyone's at house asleep. I wanted to give you a little bit more enthusiasm. I wanted to not be tired when I did this. I wanted to get that good audio quality with my brand new microphone, which is kind of a bane of, it's an angel and a demon at the moment because it picks up a lot of things that I don't want it to, and I have to spend a lot of time in noise removal because my room isn't properly soundproof. But my God, is the audio quality way better than the Razer headphone microphone that I was using. Great pair of headphones, microphone not so good for recording videos. But thank you guys so much. I will be sticking with Star Citizen throughout its development. I will be back with you guys when the Dogfighting Alpha goes live. I will put up tons of videos of me playing that, breaking it. It'll be early alpha. It won't run smoothly, but I will break it. I will play it. I will love it. I'll put up tons of videos. And if anything, more updates come along when the Cutlass gets put in, when my baby, the Avenger, gets put in, I'll show it to you guys. The website's in the link in the description. Check it out for you guys. At the time of this video, the game has reached over $20 million in literally donations, like literally $20 million in people just donating to this game. And I hope you guys support it. I'm excited for it. I'll be bringing you more videos in the future when they release more content that I can show you guys. This is just a console right here. Literally, you can just mess with your ships and like funnel them around and change things, and this is where you'll equip new weapons, new power stations, new thrusters and all that. But at the moment, really, besides switching out weapons, there's nothing in the this is my Aurora right here. I'll show you real quick before I go. You can take that off, and then you can take one of those cannons that I showed you, put it on, and then F, and then if it did it right, yep, see, there it is. And then that's really it. It just changes the weapon. Again, as you can see, Alpha's Alpha. That's it for me, guys. This is Shoas with the RSI Gaming Community. Please check out the website. Support the game. It's going strong. Lots of new people have joined, like 20-something thousand new people since the hangar's gone live. And I really can't wait for this game to progress. Thank you guys so much for watching. All of you have a nice day and fly safe.